Hi guys, so today I'm doing a video about how I annotate my books. This is something that I wanted to be one of my first videos on YouTube because it's something that I feel like I can really look back on and see like how my annotating style changes throughout my time on YouTube. At the moment I have a pretty like set way that I annotate, which I use for all of the books that I'm reading currently. However, with seeing people posting on Instagram as well as looking at other videos on how people annotate their books, I'm looking into changing my annotating style in the future. Living in the UK, I don't have like the same companies that other people do, like in America and things like that. Like most people who I watch on YouTube or on BookTube have more of a variety of tab colours than I do. So the ones that I use are Post-it brand, and I don't have one currently in the packaging, but it's this set here, and then there's also another set which looks like this, and there's also an orange colour of tabs and then another pink. So as you can see, I do already have blue and green in this set, so I mainly just buy this set for the orange or for the pink because pink tends to be the colour that I use most. So I get this set every month through Amazon Subscribe and Save. I believe it's roughly £3, probably a little bit more than that, something like £3.70. And this set I do get every 2 months, with it also having the 2 additional colours. I do also have the orange set here, I just don't have the pink currently. I believe it's probably on my bedside table, but it's a little bit messy at the moment. But it is literally the same colour pink that comes in this set. So 3 out of the 4 colours that come in this set are also in this set. I mainly just buy this one for the orange tab because, like I said, I don't get as many colours as the brand that most people tend to use, like in America and Australia and places like that. I have looked online into getting that brand, but for the most part I haven't actually been able to find it. It's online, like on eBay. I think there was like something similar on there, but I couldn't find the exact brand, and I think the actual brand website isn't available to me in the UK. I haven't checked for a while, so this may not be accurate. It may actually be that I can get hold of these tabs now, but just since I've last checked I haven't been able to, and therefore have just been using Post-it brand. And I am actually quite happy with Post-it brand because the other brand that I know most booktubers use have the colour of the tab running the whole way through, whereas these ones just have a small section of colour on the end, and they're translucent, so you can still see the text through like the clearer part of the tab. So at the moment my current read is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I'm roughly halfway through this book, and I do, as you can see, have a lot of tabs already in place. So just as an example, I place the tabs in my book roughly like this, with half of the colour sticking out and half of it on the page, because then I can still see on the page like what line I'm referring to, rather than like just having the colour completely stick out. And then, like I said, it's more transparent rather than translucent, but you can just see that it does slightly go over the text, but it's still very, very readable. So yeah, I do have a couple other books here that I have annotated previously, and they all do have the same annotating style. So I will just walk you through my colour tabs and what the colours represent for me in my books. So I will start off with my orange tabs, which are the odd ones out, and these stand for angry moments. So this will mainly be just like if a character says something that kind of makes me get really angry, or if there's just generally like something in the book that personally I don't agree with, or maybe from personal experience it makes me angry. So just generally like something that the character says or does, or something that is implied by the book which I'm not fully maybe comfortable with. I know in a couple of books I've read there's like some sexism and things like that which I don't agree with. I know that like for the most part it's just like a key element to the story and to character development with their opinions, but with it just being something that personally I don't agree with, and if it's quite a strong line of, women shouldn't do this, or men should be like this, then I will just angry tab it because personally it pisses me off and I don't agree with that view. But yeah, sometimes an angry tab may also just be something that the character says that I just think I don't like you very much. I had that a lot with in The Wicked King and also The Cruel Prince, with a lot of things that Taryn used to say. So the majority, I don't actually have too many angry tabs in The Wicked King, but I know the very first tab that I put into this book was an angry tab because of something that Taryn said. She had like a mid-redemption point, like in the middle of this book, where I was kind of thinking, you know, maybe I should give her a break, but the end, no. So that would just be when I tab it because of something a character says, rather than just a general like implication in the book. So now on to my main set of colours. I will just quickly walk you through these. So green tabs at the moment I use specifically for fantasy books. I'm looking into having like an alternative meaning for them in like my young adult contemporary books, or sci-fi, although sci-fi may be along the lines of fantasy as well, because I mainly use these for, in Harry Potter they are specifically for spells, but say like in Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, I'm using them when words specifically to that fantasy world are like explained, or mainly like in Crooked Kingdom at the moment, with it being my current read, I'm finding that I'm just using the green tabs when they explain like one of the saints or like, you know, something specific to that world. In The Wicked King I tended to use it when they were explaining the different like parts of the world, like the undersea, you know, like the bit where they were, like the history behind the world as well. In The Cruel Prince you see a lot of Jude being at her lessons and learning about, you know, astrology and different like parts of like how their world came to be and the reason why they believe what they believe. So instead of me tabbing that pink as I would for like important moments, I tab it green because it's specific to that world. My purple tabs I use for my favourite moments, either favourite moments or favourite quotes in a book. Usually for quotes it will just be ones that really stand out to me, not so much just like whenever things get emotional, because I'll tend to use that for blue, but just special moments that stand out to me that, you know, I think that quote is so smart, it's so, you know, well presented. A lot of like the quotes that you tend to find on bookmarks and things like that I will tab as purple because I want to remember them for later. And also, as well as quotes, like I said, it's also just favourite moments. I know that in Crooked Kingdom there's a lot of slow burn romance, and at the point that I'm at, there's a lot of the slow burns starting to really speed up. And the moments where these couples like have their time together and maybe say something like really sweet or really romantic, or just something that I feel like I've been waiting so long for and it's literally my favourite moment, I will also tab that purple. My pink tabs tend to be my most used because they signify foreshadowing or important moments like to the plot or the storyline. I can't always like use these accurately when it's my first time reading a book, so I tend to sometimes like place these where they're not fully accurate because maybe I'll look into things too in depth. So anything that I find important that I may need to refer back to later, I will use a pink tab for. And my pink tabs are also really handy when it comes to rereading, because then I can go back through and think, you know, I didn't tab that the first time around because I didn't realise it was important, but now that I've read this book before, I can now tab it. My yellow tabs are for funny moments. These don't tend to get used too much, although I am finding that like they do get used a lot within my more favourite books. So I'm finding that my Harry Potter books tend to use up a lot of yellow tabs because they're so quirky, like with the Golden Trio, you know, how much they talk to each other with such like comedy, and you know, they're just very straightforward with each other in the funniest way. And also in Crooked Kingdom and Six of Crows, there's a lot of, you know, the dregs like taking the mick out of each other and, you know, just having like the awkward but funny moments like between the slow burn couples, especially Nina and Matthias. Just how, you know, Nina will find a joke in almost everything and I absolutely love her for it, so Nina holds a lot of my yellow tabs. And finally, blue tabs are there to signify sad or emotional moments. So again, similar to my orange tabs, these can sometimes be up to interpretation. It may not always be like something sad that the character says, it may just be something that I read in the book that maybe it brings back like a childhood memory. Maybe I've been through something similar, or I can relate to this moment in the book, even if it's not necessarily sad, which would be when it becomes more of an emotional tab rather than a sad one. So yeah, I do have a pretty steady like key of what my tabs represent to me in my books. I tend to use the same key throughout all of my books, but like I said at the start of this video, I am looking into you know, developing maybe like alternative meanings. Say like with my green tabs being specifically for fantasy books, I may look into an alternative meaning for them in my contemporary books. And also recently I messaged a friend on Bookstagram and asked them about, you know, how they annotate their books, and they did give me some great advice, which I also wanted to share in this video, which is that they tend to put a key of their annotations at the beginning of each of their books. And this would also be really helpful for me if I then go back to a book in the future after changing my annotating style, where I may forget what my old annotations used to mean. But yeah, I hope this video has been helpful for you guys. I just wanted it to be, like I said, one of my first videos because I am currently filming a reading vlog for Crooked Kingdom, but I haven't been into detail about me annotating the book like while I'm reading it. But I just wanted to make a general video of how I annotate my books, to help you guys who may not be annotating your books yet, but maybe looking into it but you're not really sure how you want to organize your tabs and what you want each color to mean. I think one of the biggest struggles that I'm having at the moment is having one color run out before all of the others, which I think is a problem that you will always have with annotating, because you will always have one tab that tends to get used a lot, especially if it's one that represents important moments in the book, or if it's a book with like a lot of good quotes, such as a poetry book. I know when I read poetry I get the urge to just purple tab everywhere because there's just so many good quotes. So you will always have one colour that you tend to use more in each book, and then you may like be left with other colours. As well as the set that I have just shown you, this is my current set of tabs I'm using, and as you can see I have one blue tab left and I have run out of both yellow and purple tabs. This is my set that I've been using whilst reading Crooked Kingdom. I'm quite surprised that I haven't yet run out of pinks because there is a lot of important moments in Crooked Kingdom. But there's also so many good quotes, and like I said earlier about like Nina and the rest of the dregs just, you know, making fun of each other. So I'm finding that I'm getting a lot of moments that just make me laugh in Crooked Kingdom, and so I have therefore run out of funny tabs. These ones are still attached because I haven't yet touched them, and that's because my green is very difficult to have two sets of when it's specifically for fantasy books, mainly for Harry Potter. And also blue tabs, there are sad moments in a lot of my books, but not to the extent where I have to reach for this second set. So that's mainly why I'm looking into setting up a different annotating style, because I have a lot of greens and a lot of blues left over. But yeah, I hope this video has been helpful to you guys. If it has, please give it a thumbs up. I will try to upload more videos like this in the future if it's helpful for you guys. And you'll probably see more of my annotating style in my reading vlogs if it gets adapted or anything like that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye guys!